Okay. Yeah. So, so on Tuesday, we talk about poverty, right? Yeah. So talking about poverty, we have absolute and relative poverty, and we did, a small analysis on that. Okay. We try to look at, yeah, the poverty in Hong Kong, and yeah, we look at some data, and we found something meaningful. Okay, right, and we talk about the causes of poverty and also um, the consequences of poverty. Okay, yeah, and you guys did a very good job on those two parts, right? Yeah, you got all the answers that we need for those two parts, the causes and consequences of poverty. So that's very good. And then at the end of the lesson, we started to talk about how we can distribute the income and the methods that we will use. You know, they are just something that we have already learned. Okay, all right. So we first talk about transfer payments. Okay, so by using the tax revenue, we are spending the revenue back to the society. Okay, usually we target the vulnerable groups. Okay, yeah. So if you have finished your research, then you'll be able to see, okay, what we have in terms of transfer payments in Hong Kong. Okay, we're trying to help those people, helping them to have a better living. Okay, right, so that they can afford a typical, life in a society, right? Okay, so that's one method, right? That's one method. Okay, yeah, and so take a look of the second method. Okay, very straightforward, right? Yeah, instead of using transfer payment, okay, sometimes government they can directly provide the goods to the people, okay, or they can just subsidize some goods and services, okay, so people they can get the benefit. All right, so here, take a look at this example here. All right, if you are some very poor people in Zimbabwe, okay, so what kind of goods and services would you want the government to provide? Can you just give me some, okay, some goods and services that you believe they are to you they are the most important, they are the first priority. Okay, right, yeah. Okay, yeah, so I was, food, that definitely, that is very important. Okay, talking about education, if you don't even have food, then how do you survive? Yeah, education is nothing without being able to survive, right? So food, yeah, and then maybe healthcare, right? Yeah, education, and yeah, that's very good. And transport, right? Infrastructure, okay, yeah, there you go. So you all understand, right? The purpose of the second method. Okay, it's that simple, right? With the government help, that's how we build up, okay, people's wealth. That's how people can earn higher income. That's how people they can, have a better life, right? So that's method two, very straightforward. That's all. Okay. Yeah, let's move on to method three. Okay. Government intervention in the markets. Okay. So, can you tell us some interventions that government can make in the market in order to, redistribute the income? So here, well, I'll give you some hints. If you are trying to help the low wage earners, okay, that's one. Yeah, raise up the minimum wage. That's one of the government interventions that we can do to the market so that we are able to achieve redistribution of income. Oh, okay, all right, that's good. Yeah. Your workers' union maybe. Yeah, yeah. Retraining. Look, let me think. But here, look. But here we are focusing on the market. Okay, the direct, government intervention in the market. Yeah, even though I would say, look, retraining, look, that is very good. Okay, but we are focusing on this one here. Okay, all right, yeah. So we just have to find something more relevant. Okay, yeah, price ceiling for certain goods and services. Yeah, that's very good. Yeah, that's also a government intervention in the market. What about this one? To help the farmers, what kind of government intervention that we can use? Yeah, well, we actually learned that. Could be, yeah, subsidies, yeah, that might work. Yeah, price floor, okay, price floor, yeah, that's good. Okay, all right. So once again, we are focusing on the government intervention in the market. Yeah, right. Okay. Oh, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Right? Yeah, it might overlap with method two. So when you are talking about subsidies, okay, yeah, you might want to go back to method two. But I would say subsidies they are also a kind of government intervention. Okay, so here, look, if you don't want to overlap your ideas, you just want to you can just use like price floor. Okay, like what you have learned in microeconomics. You still remember that example? Yeah, right? So, but that is not the end. So after price floor, what else can the government do? Do you still remember? Do you still remember the diagram that we yeah, okay, we buy the extra supply. Okay, right? The government purchase. Right? Okay, so here, look, when you think back to micro, then you will have all the answers. Okay, minimum wage, price floor, with government purchase. Yeah, and here, for this question here, it will be the answer from Ian. Okay, how do we help those people who cannot afford food and other needs? We just have to set price ceilings for the food and other necessities. Okay, all right, yeah. So price floor, price ceiling, minimum wage. Yeah, they are all government interventions in the market. Okay, all right. So those are the three methods. Okay, yeah, but we don't have to be that rigid. Okay, yeah, you're talking about overlapping the ideas. Well, if you're able to talk about all of them, then there will be no overlapping. Okay, because you're just talking about methods. How do we redistribute the income in our society? Okay, all right, yeah. So three of them. Okay, so let's make a quick recap. All right. First of all, the difference between equity and equality. Come on, quick. But before that, Leo, helping the farmers. You talking about Oh, you talking about here? The second point, Leo. Yeah, when you are trying to set up price. Yeah, true. That is true, right? And that is why look there is no perfect policy or perfect method to solve any problem. You can always find arguments, and this is how you can argue your answer, especially when you are in a 15-mark question. Okay, so Leo, you are basically making the evaluation right now. Okay, all right, yeah. So yeah. That's very important, especially when the exam is going to be all 15-mark questions. So you have to be ready. Okay, you need to find some arguments for you when you are answering the questions. Okay, all right. So that's very good, Leo. Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. Yeah. Okay. All right. So be prepared. All right. Okay. Okay. Let's go back to recap here. Number one. Come on. Skip me the answers. Okay, equality. Income is distributed equally. Yeah, that's right. Equity, fair. Okay, the income should be distributed fairly, right? That's all. Okay, that's very good. Number two. So Bob is in relative poverty, but what does this mean? Come on. Yeah, you all know that. Okay, lower than a certain percentage in your median income. Okay, yeah, yeah. In general, 50% lower. Okay, or you might make it more general. Okay, yeah. Comparatively, people they are more poor than the rest of the population, and then they cannot enjoy a typical lifestyle. Right? You just have to link. Okay, all the points you guys have in the chat together to make up a beautiful answer. Okay, yeah, cool. That's very good. Okay, what about number three? Gomez is in absolute poverty. So what does it mean? So come on, yeah. Once again, yeah, right, exactly. Cannot afford necessities or basic needs. Okay, all right, yeah, and they live below poverty line. Yeah, that's very good. That's a very good supplement on the answer. Okay, so even talk about poverty line. All right, when the examiner they see the very nice key terms, they'll be very happy. Okay, all right, so yeah, so be more generous when you are writing your answers. Okay, yeah, just try to give all you can. Okay, right. So there you go. Number four. All right. So what are the three methods of income redistribution that we have just mentioned so far? Okay, transfer payment, subsidies or provision, government interventions in the market, and number four will be taxation. Okay, thank you, Ian and Kirsty. Right. Okay, and that's why we are going to talk about taxation as the last method for redistribution of income, and what that is. Okay, taxation itself is so important because without that taxation, the system here, okay, when you talk about transfer payments, when you talk about subsidies, when you talk about the provision of something, they will be impossible to make because they all need the money in order to provide transfer payments, subsidies, and government provision. Okay, all right. So taxation is very essential in a country. All right, when we talk about redistribution of income, of course, we all know that taxation itself is also very important as a tool for redistribution as well. Okay, yeah, because from last lesson, we talk about progressive tax, right? And that is, we all know that that's one tool to make this happen as well. Okay, all right, yeah. So taxation, there you go. So I'm just gonna go very quickly because you all know the details, right? So once again, okay, like a quick recap. Direct tax. Show me what you have when we talk about direct tax. What is it? Okay, tax burden cannot be shifted. Okay, should be paid directly by the taxpayer. Anything else that you can tell me about direct tax? Usually progressive, maybe sometimes proportional. Okay, yeah, that's very good too. Yeah, that's very good too. Anything else? Okay, tax on income and wealth. I think, that's true. That's absolutely true, right? It's always focused on people's wealth. Okay. All right. Yep. And Michelle, thank you. Right. Okay. You just show me an example. So here, look at this. Okay. If you are missing something, look. Now is the time for you to, remember this. Okay, all right, there you go. Yeah, and for examples, Michelle, you had one. Okay, can someone just give me more examples? Give me two more. Two more. Come on. So now we have income tax. What else? Just give me two more. Oh, capital gain. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's very good. But we don't have it in Hong Kong. Yeah, capital gain can be very complicated in terms of taxation. But that's why Hong Kong is a nice place for investment, because we have a very simplified taxation system. Yeah, no capital gain. Okay, yeah, but you will see capital gain in some other countries like Australia. Yeah. Okay, corporation tax, yeah, that's cool, and property tax, right? They are very common. Okay, so yeah, so they are the examples for you to use when you are being asked about tax. Okay, so make sure when you're working on your exam, you need examples. Okay, and you must develop your example a little bit. Okay, do not just come on, that's the example, and then you just go back to your theories. Spend some more time, try to develop a little bit on the example. Try to apply your examples to the concepts that you are talking about. Okay, that will give you an even better piece of writing. Okay, all right. So yeah, so there you go. Okay, right, and but here is the question: income tax. Who pay income tax? Who pay? Everyone who has a job. Okay, yeah, employed. Right. What about corporate tax? Yeah, firms. Okay, that's good. Yeah. What about property tax? Okay, that's good. All right. So let's move on. Yeah. So take a look at this. So this is basically the taxation system we have in Hong Kong. Okay. When we look at income tax, when we look at corporate tax, this is what you will see. Okay. And it is not that rigid. Okay. When you look at this, right? So when you look at income tax, look at this table here. What kind of tax would you say? Like in terms of the category, in like progressive, regressive, and proportional. So when you look at this, yeah, progressive for sure, right? Yeah. So this is the kind of progressive tax that we talk about. The higher income that you have, look at the tax rate. Okay, it's increasing, but you can actually choose to use a standard rate, and which is 15%. What about this? If I choose to use standard rate, what kind of tax is it? Okay, proportional. That's very good. Thank you. Yeah. But here is another question for you. So let's say you are an accountant, and I'm your client. Okay. I'm just a typical worker, okay, in some industry, and I'm just looking for advice. All right. So if you are an accountant, which scheme would you recommend me to use? What would be your advice? So now I have two schemes. It depends on my income. Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah, Cheryl. Yeah. That's very. Yeah, that's very good answer. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah, because we see here. Yeah, if you don't really earn that much, then probably okay. The progressive one will give you a lower tax expense. Okay, because you can see if you're not earning much, you're just paying like 2%, 6%, 10%, 14%. Until when you are over that amount, then you will pay the 17%. Okay, all right. But if you are earning so much money, okay, so at the end, look, of course you don't want to pay the rest of them at 17, because that will be too much for you. So you would rather pay 15%, so that at the end your tax expense will be cheaper. Okay, and when we talk about look, well, there is actually some mathematics that you can do to calculate. There should be a line, okay, where you can find out at which income level you should still use the progressive one, and if you pass that line, it will be much better if you use 15%, the standard rate. Okay, all right. So you will see, if you are earning somewhere quite close to this amount, and you are paying 70%. Okay, it's still cheaper when you're using progressive tax rate. Okay, because here you will get some buffer, here you will get some buffer, here you will get some buffer, and here you will get some buffer. But when you pass a certain income level, then think about this logically. Then the 15%, the proportional tax system will give you actually a cheaper tax expense. Okay, all right. Yeah, you can try. Okay, do some math, and you will see. Okay, all right. So when we are talking about this kind of conversation, okay, this kind of strategy, what do we call it? There is a term for that. What do we call it when we are doing this kind of strategy in order to pay? Okay, all right. Thank you, Michelle. Yeah, tax avoidance. Oh, wait, Leo. No, that's not tax evasion. All right. Yeah, tax evasion is when you just don't care. All right, you just don't. I'm not going to pay any tax. That's tax evasion. Okay, that's illegal. Okay, but when we are talking about tax avoidance, we are trying to minimize our tax expenses legally. Okay, so because they have so many rules in this taxation system, so we just have to play around with the system in order to minimize our tax expense. Okay, all right, yeah. So yeah, that's very good. Okay, yeah. But when you take a look of corporate tax in Hong Kong, okay, so when we look at this, look at the one on the top. Yeah, what kind of tax is it? 16.5. So yeah, proportional, right? Yeah. There you go. But in the recent year, I think since 2018 or 19, I forgot. They had a new rule. Okay, you can choose. You can choose between this one here or the one below. Okay, so once again, if I have a company and you are the accountant, which one would you recommend me to use? Which one? Okay, the new one. Yeah, obviously, yeah, the new one, because I got a buffer, right here up to $2 million. Okay, at 8.25%. Right, and then after I pass that limit, I'm just gonna pay the same rate as the one above, right? Of course, yeah. Look, you think government is that stupid? Of course not. Okay, of course there will be some conditions that you have to fulfill in order to use the scheme below. Okay. All right, because it's nonsense. Because if there are two schemes here, and one of them, you obviously will get the advantage from this one here. Then what's the point to have the one above, right? Yeah. So there will be some conditions that you have to fulfill in order to use the scheme here. Okay, but here, this slide here, I'm just trying to show you the glimpse of how we can play around with the taxation system. Okay, of course, in the reality, the taxation system is much more complicated, and you have like allowances, you have like deductions, so many other things that you can play around with. Okay, all right, yeah, that's why they have to learn taxation in accounting. Okay, all right, yeah, but yeah, there you go. All right. So yeah, so that's direct tax. So you will see, when you talk about direct tax, it is always progressive or proportional. Yeah, this one here is progressive, right? Yeah. So yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Yeah. So after direct tax, of course, you will have to talk about indirect tax. Once again, give me the ideas when we talk about indirect tax. What can you say about it? Okay, tax pay when consuming goods. That's true. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What else? Okay, tax burden can be shifted. Okay, regressive. For demerit goods. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's very true. Okay. Yeah, because usually when we talk about indirect tax, they are always taxes for goods and services, and of course it's going to include those taxes for demerit goods and other goods as well. Okay. Yeah, Leo, that's true, right? Yeah, so there you go. Okay, so look at this, right? That's why it is called indirect tax. Yeah, originally the producer has to pay for the tax, but they can shift the tax burden to the consumers if they increase the price of the goods. Okay, and that's why we call this an indirect tax. Okay, all right, you can shift the burden to the consumers by raising the price. Okay, all right, yeah, and yeah, the taxes are, look, for goods and services. Okay, so what you have learned in microeconomics when we talk about indirect tax, yeah, that's the one. Okay, all right. Okay, once again, examples. Give me some. Cigarettes. Okay, yeah, VAT. All right, yeah, alcohol. Yeah, that's true. Okay, thank you. All right. But here, if you want to generalize, taxes for cigarettes, like mainly for cigarettes or mainly for alcohol, we have a different term, or you can use a different term for that. Okay, usually we call them an excise tax. Okay, so excise tax, right? Yeah, the tax on specific goods and services. Okay, right. Okay, talking about VAT or GST, you know what they are. Okay, right? Just the tax for all general goods and services. Okay, all right. Yeah, but don't forget about tariff. Yeah, something like tariff. Okay, because that is also a tax. Okay, yeah, and we are going to talk about tariff in great detail in international economics. Okay, all right. Yeah, so cool. All right, so let's move on. Yeah, since you have known all of them. Oh, here. Okay, ABC. Can you quickly identify the nature of ABC? Okay, yeah, the taxes. So, yeah, I'm gonna give you some time, or you can just read. Yeah, just look at the data and quickly tell me if A should be progressive, regressive, or proportional, and same goes to B and C. Okay, A is proportional. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, when you look at the numbers here, right? Yeah, B is regressive. Okay, right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when the income is increasing, you're still paying for the same amount of tax payment. Okay, so the percentage should be getting lower and lower. Okay, right? Okay, and C is progressive. Yeah, that's true, right? When you compare A to C, then definitely C will be progressive. Okay, right? So there you go. Simple. Okay, all right, there you go. Once again, okay, it's all about when the taxable income is increasing, what will happen to the tax rate? Okay, Yeah. So make sure you get that correctly. Okay. Do not make the same old mistake that you made before. Yeah. Some people, they always like to write when taxable income is increasing, we will pay more tax. That will give you a wrong answer. Okay. It's not about tax. It's about the tax rate. Okay. All right. So here, same tax rate. That's why it's a proportional tax. Here, look, the tax rate is decreasing. It's a regressive tax. And here, increasing tax rate. That's a progressive tax. Okay. All right. Yeah. And here, so yeah, in general, once again, all right, direct tax, usually they are progressive and proportional, and indirect tax, regressive. Okay, and you all know why. Okay, all right, yeah. Here very quickly. Okay, so question. So when taxable income increases, tax payment increases. It is a what is it? I don't know. Okay, all right, yeah, because yeah, you really don't know. Well, Ian, proportional. Yeah, well, it can be anything. Wait, yeah, wait. Just hold on a second. Okay, no, not necessarily. Okay, all right. Yeah, we don't know that. Unable to determine. All right, so don't be tricked. Okay, all right. Even when the tax payment is increasing, it can be regressive as well. All right, think about here is 100, and then 101, and then 102, and that will become an regressive tax as well. Yeah. Okay, and then here, look, even when the tax payment is increasing, is a proportional tax, right? Yeah, here progressive tax. So yeah, so make sure you just have to be crystal clear about the concept here. Okay, all right. Okay, cool. All right, yeah. Okay, let's move on. Move on. Yeah. So here, it's just a quick recap. In case you're not so sure about regressive tax. Okay, so very quick. Let me finish this. Right. So talk about regressive tax. Yeah, we always talk about indirect tax. Okay, the reason of it. Take a look at this here, the example here. Look, a pack of cigarettes before tax, that is $50. Okay, and let's say we have an indirect tax of tobacco duty, and that is $10 per pack. Okay, so together with the tax, then you will see they are selling it at $60. Okay, all right. So the tax is $10. Okay, yeah. But when you compare people, they have income of 100 per day, and and people who has $1,000 of income per day, right? So you just have to look at how that $10 tax will affect those people. Okay, yeah. For this one here, okay, the tax burden for him or her is 10%. Okay, because based on the very simple calculation, and then we know it's a 10%. But here, yeah, look, it's a typo right here. 1,000. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, 1,000. Okay. Yeah. So it should be 1%. All right. So at the end, you see, the richer you are, the less tax rate that you will be paying for indirect tax. And that's why for taxes on goods and services, they are always regressive tax. Okay, all right, cool, yeah. Okay, all right, easy. Yeah. So progressive. Yeah. Once again, which one do you think is more fair? progressive, regressive, proportional. Okay. Okay. Oh, that's very good. Yeah. So okay. All right. Yeah, Kirsty. Yeah, that's very good. That's very good analysis. Okay. But what did we talk about when we mention like in the modern days how the economists they think about equity. So when they think about equity, yeah, they always think about equality. Okay, all right. But the thing is, there's no answer. Okay, there's no answer. Yeah. So it will be either progressive or proportional. It really depends on what you believe. Okay, all right. Some people they believe equality is equity. Some people believe that you know progressive is equity. Okay, is a normative statement. Okay, is just a very subjective value judgment. Okay, all right. Yeah. So here the people they still argue. Okay? They do a lot of arguments. All right. Yeah. But yeah, as long as you are saying progressive or proportional, then you'll be fine. Okay. Well, let me correct the typo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we all know that regressive, that will be the opposite. That will increase the income inequality. Okay. Yeah, because the example that we did just now, yeah, actually show regressive tax. That's not good for income equality. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, anyway. Okay. Yeah, I just forgot. No, I really forgot. Okay. Oh, anyway, forgot. Forget about it. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. Right. All right. So this is actually the last part. Okay. Here. Once again, you have to make evaluation, right? Yeah. When you talk about the 15-mark questions, there will be some evaluation that you have to make. Okay. And from time to time, when we talk about equity, and we always compare the importance of equity to efficiency. Okay, they are they are the enemies. For most of the times. Okay, all right. So when you are being asked which one should be more important, then there you go. This is your evaluation. Okay, all right. Okay. Oh yeah, I just remember what I wanted to say about which one is more fair. Okay. To Adam Smith believed that proportional tax is more fair. Okay. Yeah. That's what he believed in. Okay, because they believe people they should pay the same proportion out of their income. That is what he believed was fair. Okay, but look, once again, you can agree or disagree Adam Smith's opinion, okay, or idea. All right, yeah. Even though he is the father of economics, okay, modern economics, but look, it's all open for arguments. Okay, all right, yeah, yeah. That's what I was, trying to say. Okay, yeah. So here, back to here. So we are just going to make some discussion to compare the equity and efficiency when it comes to income redistribution. Okay, yeah, we are going to look at 4 of the methods and try to compare the equity and efficiency. Okay, all right. So when it comes to taxation, what positive consequences on efficiency that you can realize from there? So taxation, positive consequences on efficiency based on what you have learned. Look, focus on the key term, efficiency. Okay, yeah. Think about the diagrams that you had to draw in microeconomics. Efficiency is all about allocation of resources. Well, that could be true. Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right, yeah, okay. That's some good ideas. But what about something else? Like, what else can taxation do to improve the allocative efficiency? Okay, so we are talking about allocative efficiency here. Okay, to fix negative externalities. Okay, so that's very good. Yeah, that's very good. Okay, so yeah, right, because this is what we have learned in microeconomics. Okay, yeah. So when you think about the diagram once again, then okay, it really helps reducing the negative externalities. Okay, yeah. So here, I'm just trying to focus on this part here. All right, but the question here is, look at this. Are taxes like here? They all serve for correcting market failure. Right, they don't. Okay, no, they don't. Right? Yeah, yeah. Okay. And so after this, what can you tell us about taxation? If this is the positive consequences on efficiency, and now so many taxes in our society, they are not actually served for correcting market failure. So what can you say? Okay, yeah, that's very good. Yeah, may potentially create more market failure. Yeah, that's very true. Okay, if you still remember government intervention, that chapter, right? The first assumption that we made, okay, is that we are, the initial point is where we have allocative efficiency. Okay, yeah, right. And when we add some taxes into our system, that will create some very bad impact to our economy. Okay, yeah, there will be some dislocation of mislocation of resources. Okay, all right, yeah. So that's why, look, you can see some arguments here. All right, okay, all right. So they might actually distort the prices. Okay, that act as signals and incentives. These are all the things that we have learned, okay, in our market economy system. And at the end, you might see something that you don't want to see, right? Allocative inefficiency. Okay, right? Yeah. So that's one argument that you can make about taxation when it comes to allocative efficiency. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, all right. Yeah, so when you talk about income tax, corporate tax, yeah, when we use them, okay, it makes income distribution more, equitable. Okay, but at the same time, it might destroy the allocative efficiency. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's one. All right. So what about this? So we all know that progressive, that's more fair. Okay, right, in terms of equity. But what could be the negative consequences if we are having a highly progressive tax system on the people? Okay, so the rich are not happy. So if they're not happy, if some people, or if majority of the people they are not happy, what would they do? What would be their possible reactions? But yeah, they may leave the country. Okay, yeah, yeah, they may do tax evasion. Okay, yeah, so very yeah, okay. Anything else? What kind of incentive that you might also have when you have to pay a very high tax rate? Yeah, you may do protests. Okay, yeah, there'll be less investment. Yeah, right. Okay, reduce incentive for people to work to gain more income because if you do that, then you have to pay a higher tax rate. Yeah, so that's very good. Okay, yeah, I'm going to accept all the answers here. Okay, so they are very good answers. But in my slide right here, I just picked some of your answers and I try to develop them. Okay, but I'm very happy to see the answers in the chat. So very good. Okay, so yeah. So but the the major effects, I would say that will be easier for you to explain. Okay, I would say these two, right? This incentive to work, and look, income level decreases. Okay, and and the rest is just the answers that you gave me. Okay, so look, follow the flow. Okay, what will happen to the labor market if there's you know less incentive to work? So we are going to expect less labor in the market, right? Yeah, if the income level is decreasing, there'll be less saving. Yeah, so that will be less investment. Okay, potentially. Yeah, right. Okay, so at the end, we will see something like this. If more people, okay, they don't want to work anymore. Yeah, so you might expect, if you imagine a PPC, the point that you are at currently, it might move inwards. Okay, because now you have more resources being unutilized. Okay, so yeah, under allocation of resources, right? And at the same time, look, there are less output to make, there are less resources to make output, and there are less investment. So you will expect a lower rate of economic growth as well. Okay, all right, yeah. So as long as you can explain your ideas from the chat, you'll be just fine. Okay, you'll be just fine. Right, just like here. Okay, here's the flow. Right, from here you have your ideas, and then what will happen when these are the impacts. Okay, all right. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. But here, this is something that we can think about. Okay, if we have progressive income taxes, okay, what will it affect the short-term fluctuation in the economic cycle? We all know what that is. The short-term fluctuation, that curve, right, moving ups and downs. That's the short-term fluctuation in the economic cycle. But if we have progressive income taxes in our society, what could possibly happen to the short-term fluctuation in the economic cycle? Yeah, if we put this item into our society, if we put progressive tax into our society, what will happen to the short-term fluctuation in the economic cycle? Any ideas? So think about this. Here we are focusing on the effect to the fluctuation. Okay, the effect to the fluctuation. Okay, if we have put progressive tax in our system, so you can think about this. When your economic cycle is on the very top, and we have progressive tax with us, or more fluctuations. Look, think about this carefully. Okay, once again, just imagine you are on a very high position, okay, in the economic cycle. And if you put progressive tax in your system, yes, right? Okay, if you put that in your system, then it will help reduce, or you can say redistribute, more proportion of income. Okay, because if you are if you're in a high point, okay, right, you are going to expect people, they usually they have a higher income, right? But because if we put progressive tax in our system, then when they're earning higher income, they have to pay a higher proportion of of their income for taxes. Okay, so it actually does a stabilization into our economy if we put this progressive tax into the society. Okay, so same goes to when we are at low point. Okay, when we are at low point, and if we have progressive tax in our system, so we are going to expect people, they will pay, okay, a much less proportion of their incomes as taxes. Okay, and once again, that is very good, because when you are at a low point, you want to stimulate the income, and that progressive tax system is exactly doing the job. Okay, all right, yeah. So you will see this kind of progressive tax system actually serves as a purpose of something we call that an automatic stabilizer. Okay, yeah, it's like if you put this item into your system, it will help adjust the economy automatically. Okay, yeah, based on the two scenarios that I just told you. Okay, so it's one very powerful tool to use to stabilize the economy. Okay, when you think about the short-term fluctuation. Okay, yeah, so one system can make the difference. All right, yeah, either when you are at a high point or when you are at a low point. Okay, it will help. Yeah, when you're at a high point, it will stabilize the economy. If you're at a low point, it will stimulate the economy. Yeah, that's the purpose. Okay, all right. So if that's how it works, then you will see it helps. Okay, to stabilize inflation and unemployment as well. Okay, yeah, just think about when you're at low point, yeah, what will happen to your unemployment? When you're at a high point, what will happen to inflation? Okay, all right. So that's the purpose. One very good purpose when we are using progressive taxes. Okay, all right. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I talked too much. All right. Okay. I'm just going to stop it here. Okay. And definitely we can finish it next week. Okay. And I would say, look, after this chapter, I think we will give you a test, one more test before you go to the exam. Okay, all right, yeah. But that's actually good, right? Okay, because you do your revisions anyway. Okay, so yeah, yeah. Okay, and we will have a test about economic objectives, I believe. Okay, all right, yeah. So prepare for that. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys next week. All right. Yeah. Bye, guys. Bye. 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 All right. Bye.